Find out what the heck's going on back here. You think you took the beers? Yeah, maybe to the walls too. Now, if I can get one good belly laugh before I leave, I bet I'll be good for the whole trip. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was weak. We got a whole lot more people on here than that. You must be frozen. Yeah, LOL, that's good, that's good. ROL, whatever that is. Alright. Now, we were established on May 22nd of the year 2010. That means we are rapidly approaching our 10th birthday. Folks, we're going to be 10 years old this year. If you can get back here on May 22nd, yeah, come back. Because it's going to be it's going to be a lot of fun. We like spoiling our customers. We love spoiling our animals. So please come back and join us on May 22nd. Over here on your left, you're going to see how we make these rock walls. We're right up here in front of these cars. And it's all painted brown. It's a bunch of old retired buses and cars and trucks and storage containers. We strap them all down good and tight. We've got them painted brown right now, but what we do is we throw wiring on the outside of it. Then we put steel lathing on the outside of that, and then we shoot it with what's called shotcrete. Shotcrete is nothing more than concrete blown in with a hose. To your right here, that's 3 buses just like this one, stacked on top of one another to make our future waterfall. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with retired drivers. That bear back there is kind of a clue. All right, then the next thing you see here is an Airstream trailer. That back in the early 2000s, we had a tornado come through Belmont, which is about halfway between here and Flagstaff. Wiped out a bunch of RVs, and the ones that could not be salvaged, we turned into rocks. So that's how we made all these rock walls. Cars, trucks, buses, storage containers, everything we can find, we stack them all up. And then we have artists that come in and sculpt it to make it look like rocks. And we have rock walls. Now, speaking of rocks, we are now on the Rocky Mountain Goats. This critter over here to your right, that's Gus. And if you watch, up here in front of us, you're going to see, there she goes. There's Gertie climbing around on the rocks. Now, that's what they're known for. They are very, very good at climbing in the rocks. You'll usually see them at about 13,000 feet in elevation. They are the largest mammal at that altitude. They're even-toed ungulates, and they have 2 toes on each hoof. And those toes can actually curl to grab rocks. On the bottoms of their hooves, they have a natural rubberish kind of coating, and that helps them to grip the rocks as well. But you notice that the tip of her toes there, those are called dew claws. And those dew claws help keep them from slipping on the ice. So they can do that kind of stuff in the ice as well. They have 2 layers of fur. The outer layer of fur is regular, or is hollow fur, and then the regular fur is underneath that coat there, and that's what helps them keep the warmth in the cold winters. They can withstand temperatures of up to 53 degrees below zero, wind gusts of up to 99 miles an hour, and they can climb slopes as steep as 60 degrees. Really, really good climbers. All right, now we are in the reindeer enclosure. Now these reindeer in here, they're a unique species of deer. What makes them so unique is the fact that the males and the females both grow antlers in this species of deer. Now, if you find them in Europe, we call them reindeer. If you find them here in North America, we call them caribou. And if you want to find caribou in the wild, you'll have to go up to Idaho, maybe up into Montana, up in that area. Canada, Alaska, they'll have them up there too. That red truck over there to your left, I want you to pay attention to that. Those are the ones that feed these animals. Whenever you see that truck come around, you can be pretty well rest assured that these animals are going to be paying attention, because they're the ones that bring them to feed. That's animal stuff. Now here's one of our females up here to your left. There's 2 females, 2 males in here. Females' names are Amber and Shandy. Yeah, and then our males' names are Bud and Porter. Now, if you notice, they're all named after beer. How much fun was that to name these critters? It had to be a ball. All right, now you can see the 2 boys over here too. And notice that on the females, they still have their antlers. The boys both shed their antlers. Porter over here, this one looking at us right now, he just shed his antlers a day or 2 ago. But Bud, the one that's grazing up here, he shed his antlers about the end of December, and that's how much his antlers have already grown from the end of December. They have a velvet coating on the outside of the antlers, and those fresh antlers, it takes them a while to grow, but they'll grow about 1 inch, 2 inches per day. because that velvet actually has blood vessels that run through them. And those blood vessels help those bones to grow. Now the girls are still holding on to theirs. Shandy there, she's lost one of her antlers, and the other one's getting ready to drop off as well. They hold on to theirs a little bit longer, and that's in order to care for their babies. If any predators come and try to attack their babies, they're gonna hook them with those antlers. Sorry. Now we are now entering into the mule deer and coos deer, and coos deer and whitetail deer is the same. They're both one and the same. But the whitetail or the coos deer are smaller than the muleys, so you will notice that they are visibly smaller. They look like they're babies comparatively, but they aren't actually full-grown adult deer. Now, in this species of deer, only the males grow the antlers. The females do not grow antlers in this species of deer. We have 3 whitetails in here. Those names are Fonda, Fonzie, and Tesla. And then our mule deer's names are Forrest, Deer Abbey, Jane Doe, John Deere, Shea, Randall, Tex, and Baddington. And the latest one, the newest one that we just brought in here last week, her name is what is it? I'll think of it. Here's one of our bucks over here. There's a doe over here on your left. Look at that. I'm trying to think of her name. There's another doe back there. That's another mule. There's another one back over there. You can see how tough they are to spot. Especially when they're lying down. If they're lying down with a shade,
Man, I didn't even see that.
They can be really tough. Now that little girl over here to your immediate left, that's a pronghorn. That's a baby pronghorn. She's roughly a year and a half old. That little girl can run at 2.5 miles an hour. 2.5 miles an hour. She can run at 50 miles an hour. And she can run half that speed for the long distances. Very, very quick. There's another buck over here. Alright, I'm going to have to cheat on the name of that deer because it's driving me nuts. It's a short drive for me. That's roughly from here to that car. Hazel, thank you. Hazel is the newest girl in here. I am going to go around this car because we don't have the luxury of stopping like they do. I got to get you guys back in time for that bird show because it is the last bird show for the day. There's another couple of bucks over here. A few bucks to the left. And a bunch of turkeys. There's some wild turkeys back in there. You guys want to talk to them? I can talk to them. See? All right. I talk turkey. Yeah, there's one of our white tails. Now we're to your left. You're going to see the fence there. Back behind that fence, and when you go in and look at the jaguars, if you go out to the left of the jaguars, you're going to see where Ace is. Ace is our bull elk. He just shed his antlers. Just now, just today. Just shed his antlers. And he was about 7 or 8 foot tall with those antlers. But now he's just a big old bull elk in there. But you're going to be able to see him back there behind the fence. Pretty soon his antlers are going to start forming just like you just saw Bud back there. His antlers grow the same way, that velvet coating on the outside of the antlers. But and on the other side of this cattle guard here, if you look to your left, you're going to see where the lady elk are. We did see Big Ace back in there a little bit earlier this morning, but I think this is probably just going to be the lady elk in there right now, but I'm not positive. But the smallest one in there, they have Grace, Aspen, and Lucky in there. The smallest one, she was the last one that was brought to us so far from Game and Fish. Her mother was actually killed on the I-40 up by Flagstaff about a year and a half ago. The baby, little Lucky, had just not been born yet. She was still in the sack. In fact, the people involved in the accident noticed that she was still kicking around in the sack and there was still a chance. So they, the emergency staff called Game and Fish and they rushed her out to us. And Dr. Oli, our veterinarian, had to stitch her up. She had some stitches that she required, and she also had some road rash and that sort of thing. But she did survive. She's about a year and a half old now. But little Lucky's back in there. And those ladies in the that red truck that I was showing you a little bit earlier, animal staff, they're the ones that bottle fed her. Her and little Hot Jessie, that little pronghorn you saw back there, they were both bottle fed right here in the park. So they only know the love of humans. And when those girls show up, they just follow them around like puppy dogs. They think they're their mommies. Pretty cool, it really is. All right, now we are in the donkey enclosure. Now these donkeys over here, these are Eeyore, Puss, and Boots. They are all three males. Now Eeyore, Puss, and Boots they're called Jerusalem donkeys. And the way they got their name Jerusalem donkeys is that line down that goes that, I'm going to drop these up here because I don't like hitting them with it because it freaks them out. But that line on their back is thought to be a blessing from God because a donkey actually did give a ride to Mary on her way to the manger to deliver Jesus. And a couple kings were given rides as well. So a lot of Christians believe that their name, that cross on their back is a result of a blessing from God. They are definitely a blessing to me. I love those animals. They're really cool. Donkeys can see all four hooves, where horses can only see their front hooves. They cannot see their rear hooves. You never ever want to sneak up on a horse from behind. If the horse doesn't know you there, you'll startle the horse, and the horse will kick you, and it is a deadly kick. You never ever want to do that. I wouldn't sneak up on a donkey from behind either, but at least the donkey can call it shots. A horse, it doesn't even know what it's hit or even care that it's hit anything. It's just scared. But now donkeys were used during the mid-1900s here in America to go to haul gold out of the gold mines because they fit perfectly into the mine dress, and they would pull the gold ore out of the mines for the miners and help them. Then after the gold rush was over, they were released into the wild. They've been thriving ever since. If you want to see some wild donkeys actually running free, if you'll go up to Oatman, or down to Oatman, I guess it is, between here and Kingman, you'll find donkeys running free through the streets, and you are able to feed them. They do sell food along the way for you guys to feed them down there. You can't feed these here because being a park, we have to adhere to strict diet guidelines and that sort of thing in order to keep. They have to maintain a certain health standard to keep our licensing and all that. All right, now I want everybody inside the bus. I want all arms and feet and legs, in-laws, outlaws, everybody inside the bus. You are now entering into tundra wolves. Now these tundra wolves are a subspecies of the gray wolf. They are a little bit smaller than the gray wolf. They are also smaller and less powerful than mountain lions. They test their prey for weaknesses and vulnerabilities through their senses, through their sense of smell, through their sense of hearing, through their vision, and that's how they determine who they're going to invite over for dinner. These three wolves in here are all related to one another. They are brothers and sisters. 2 boys, 1 girl, Victorio, Geronimo, and Kay. And you can see 2 of them lying down here to your left as we come around the loop here. And it looks like Kay is the one that's standing over here by the fence. Now when they do feed these animals, they're strict carnivores. They only eat meat. No veggies for these guys. And when animal staff feeds them, they stand on the other side of the fence that Kay is standing next to there, and they'll throw big blocks of meat over the top of the fence, and then they devour the meat. Now that meat is ground up bone and blood and intestines and fur, all the nutrients that they would get in the wild, they get right here in the park through their feeding. Now over here to your left is Victorio and Geronimo. If you guys want to try and howl, we can do that. These brakes don't set them off. They aren't going to. But go ahead, let's do it. Huh. Okay. Yes, sir. We look like a bunch of rookies to them. Yeah, I'll teach you how to howl. Now, when they do howl, they all howl at a different pitch. The ones over on your right-hand side, by the way, I'm going to introduce you to here in a quick, short minute. Those are Arctic wolves. I'll introduce you to them here. When they do howl, though, they howl at a different pitch. Each one has its own unique sound, their own unique voice, a lot like us humans, and that's how they determine which one is which when they're out in their fields. Over here, oh, look at here, there's Kelly. Everybody say hi, Kelly. She's watching Wolf Group for us today. Now we do separate our wolf packs with donkeys. This is the second portion of the donkey enclosure. During the summer, especially, if you don't find the donkeys down there where we found them just now, you're probably going to find them up here in this part of the park, because it seems to be cooler up here for them or something. But they do like it. They prefer it up in here. So if you don't see them when you come back in the summer, don't worry about it. You're probably going to find them up here. But we separate our wolf packs with the donkeys, because if we put the wolf packs back to back, the chances are extremely good that these wolves would cross over that cattle guard. They could jump those cattle guards if they wanted to, if they had the incentive to do that. If they were fighting with each other, that would be a great incentive for them to come over and show who's boss. Okay, so they separate them. We separate them with the donkeys so that does not happen. But I am going to show you as we enter into Arctic wolves how we keep them separated. If you look down in between the cattle guards, you'll see electric wiring running there. Also, that pad that I'm running over right now is electrified. So if they do step on that, they get shocked. So that's a great incentive to keep them in their dens. Plus the fact that they don't want to go over and mix it up with the donkeys, or on the other side, with the bears. Of course, the bears have electric yeah, their pad and everything up there is electrified as well. So if they choose to come over and mix it up with the rooms, they couldn't do it either. A shocking experience that they All right, now we are near Arctic wolves. This one laying over here to your left is either Juno or Twilight. Looks like it's Juno. Juno has a black nose. Twilight has a pinkish or brownish looking nose. And it looks like this one is Juno. So Juno's just laying down here to your left. You guys want to how we can do that? All right, here's Twilight here on your left-hand side now. You can try to howl for her to. And there's Shadow. Shadow's laying right down there by that rock. The Shadow's another tundra wolf. He's a tundra, yes. He was over with the other tundras when I originally came to the park. However, he did not get along well over there because he wasn't part of the family. So we moved him back over here. He was actually raised with these Arctic wolves. Now, when I tell you these animals are ornery, here's a fine example. Back some years ago, a lady actually accidentally hit the hatchback on her car. And the hatchback came open, and Twilight, the female, the littlest one, jumped in the back of her car. Scared that poor lady to death. She screamed, which is really, really fortunate for her, and for the wolf as well, because the wolf grabbed the first thing that came behind in the bed, jumped out the back of her car, and ended up being about the clothes. Yeah, that poor lady's clothes were screaming all around. They said it looked like a big frat party. Funny, they said it was really funny. When the lady came back on the bus, she said, yeah, it's funny, it's expensive, but it's funny. So yeah, they are non-forgivable when it comes to something like that. This one up here is Libby. And Libby's showing off her, she's strutting her stuff right now. She's showing the rest of the bear. I am the alpha bear. Don't mess with me. Don't worry, I'm not going to mess with you. Yes, ma'am. You got my attention. Now, usually up here in this den over here to your left is Arthur. Arthur hasn't been in that den for a while. He's hanging out up here in this next den on the right. But Arthur's a big old full-grown adult black bear. He's weighing in at a scrapping 690 pounds. Full-grown adult black bear. So I'll explain that a little bit later. But in here we have a total of 19 black bears in here. There's a different variation of colors in here, and they're all black bears. Every bear we have here in Bearzone is a black bear. We do have some cinnamon-colored black bears, and that's exactly what we call the brownish-looking ones. Cinnamon-colored black bears. If it was indeed a brown bear, right behind, look at this one over here to your right, that cinnamon-colored one back there. If that was a brown bear or a grizzly bear or even a polar bear, they would have a big hump right behind its neck. You can see a little bit of one right there, but that's just the shoulder blades. But right behind its neck, you would see a great big old hump. That's how you know the difference between a brown bear and a grizzly bear and a black bear. Black bears and brown bears and grizzly bears, they're treated completely differently. Brown bears or grizzly bears will attack you just because you're there. Black bears, they're more likely than not to just run away from you because they don't like humans. Over here to your right, as we come around the loop, that could be, nope, that's not him. That's not big enough to be Big Arthur. But I'd like to show everybody that den right there because, oh look, there's one balancing on the log over there. To your right, two of them. They're playing over there, just having a good time, probably looking for bugs.
Gracious.
Anyway, that big den back there, I like to tell everybody that has built-in appliances in it. And it is. It's built with broken down old refrigerators, washers, dryers, freezers, that sort of thing. It's built with appliances. They're not working. If they were working appliances, if I told you they were working appliances, I'd be lying, and we don't have lions here. Thank you so much. Now those bands that you saw in those trees, those bands are actually put there to protect the trees because black bears climb these trees so much that they actually dig into the center core of the tree and they'll kill the tree. You are in the largest ponderosa pine forest in the world right now, by the way. Just in case you want to write that down, you might meet Alex Trebek someday. And if you go on Jeopardy, that could be the Daily Double. You never know. I'm pulling for you. All right, always look for bears in trees. Black bears are excellent climbers. They have short, non-retractable claws, and that makes them excellent climbers. So this guy is supposed to be stopping, so he's kind of causing us a little bit of grief here. He's looking at the bears, I get it, but we're not supposed to stop him because these bears will climb like a problem. So what I'm saying is watch the trees, look in the trees, because we just had a couple of them up in the trees. We had 2 of them in one tree already this morning. So keep an eye on them, keep an eye on them. Now black bears have 7 times better sense of smell than dogs. I am talking bloodhounds. That's roughly 2,100 times better than you and I. They have 2,100 times better sense of smell than you and I. They really do have incredible senses about them. They've got 9 times better sense of vision, 9 times better hearing than dogs as well. But they can spot us coming from 5 miles away. They do not like us humans. So the chances are extremely good if you ever are in bear country, which anything outside of the park here is bear country here in Coconino Forest. You're not gonna be seeing those bears hanging out together like they do here in the park. The reason they tolerate each other here in the park is because they are being fed. Also, a question that's asked a number of times: do the bears hibernate? The answer is no. Here in the park, there's no need for them to hibernate, just because they are being fed. Out in the wild, if they can't find food in the winter, they will hibernate. They'll just go to sleep because they can't find the food. And then after the food becomes available, then they wake up, go out and start hunting again for food. Now their metabolism does slow down greatly here in the winter, but they don't have to hibernate. All right, now we are in the white bison. Now these white bison will surround the bus. I don't want you to be surprised or startled when they do that. That's just part of the whole scene here. They recognize our bus, but they do not recognize your car. So that's good news for all of us, because we can get away from it. We got a big old bus. We can kind of nudge our way around if we have to. Your car, you wouldn't stand a chance. So they do allow us to feed these bison in order to get them to come a little bit closer for you guys to enjoy. This guy over here to your left, that's Big Dandy. He's got a sister named Fine. Fine and Dandy were both born right here in the park. But Fine is still over on the ranch. And but Dandy came back to us this last year. So that's Dandy. Everything's just Dandy around here right now. Now they are a crossbreed between French Charolais cattle and brown bison. 1 in 4 of their offspring actually comes out brown. Now if you've ever seen French Charolais cattle, they are beautiful cows. And that's how they got somehow they got intermixed with the buffalo or bison, either one you choose to call them. And that's how we came up with white bison. Now over here to your right, that's actually the white bison loop is what we call it. And that white bison loop is open for us to drive on during the summer part, but during the winter part of the year when it's all red out there, it's just way too soft and we'll sink out there. So we stay off that road during the winter. Here comes some more to visit. You want to come over and say hi? Hi, T.D. You want some goodies? I got some cookies. Okay. We are the popular ones. See, this is one of the advantages of riding the bus. You get to help. Okay. These are oats. These are just crushed. Yeah, just condensed oats. These are normally horse treats. It's not big nutritional value for them. It's just something for them to think about, a little something else for them to do. There's a couple of our brown or of our white bison babies here. This one here, dead in front of us, that's one of our white bison. And here's one of our brown white bison. See, their job right now is to block traffic so that all the herd gets their treats. Yes, they do. They certainly do shed. And in fact, if they do shed too quickly, they'll actually get sunburned, believe it or not. Even the brown bison. There you go, Peter. There's another cookie for you. All right, now over here to your right, this is how I got proof that these critters can jump 6 feet in the air. Now this is not a 6-foot fence, but folks, Gentry, one of our bison from years past, jumped over one fence, jumped over the second fence, come over here and meet the brown bison choice. His girlfriend was an American brown bison, and he would not be stopped. You can't keep love, you can't stop love. Okay, our animal stuff wants to stop this. 1 second. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, you bet. If you guys want any information on animals, talk to these people right here. They are the experts. They do. They make it up better than me. All right, they want us to bring those bison down here. Let's see if we can get them out here. They can't see this by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm trying to get them to come. They're filming. They're actually taking photographs. That other guy in the back of the truck was a photographer, and they're trying to get some cool shots of these animals. Yeah. Oh, they're going to come. As soon as they recognize us, they're going to come running. But that's why those white bison were back there. If you notice, they were all clumped up around the fence. That's because they saw something exciting going on. Now, there's 2 little ones up there. Those are the 2 babies. Those 2 babies were actually born mid-summer last year. They're about 6 years old. Over there to your left, that's an oat thrasher from the 1800s. That oat thrasher, if you want to see an oat thrasher actually working in the wild, if you go to Nebraska, they have oat thrashers that they actually have competitions with. The farmers and the ranchers, they'll hook up to those oat thrashers, and they'll use them like they used them originally. Now this is the mama and her baby. This one up here is the youngest one. That's the littlest baby. Oh, here's the other baby. This baby's about a month older than the first one. Sorry. They got to where now they start eating the treats. There for a while they were pretty tentative with the bus. They were pretty scared, and understandable. I mean, so now they're getting a little bit more relaxed with us, and they'll come up and enjoy a snack with us, just like the other bison. Now the big one that you're going to see in here, his name is Sully. Sully is weighing in at a strapping 2,400 pounds. 2,400 pounds of bison.